Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to day 15 of the 31 Days of Horror. DBougie86 back up in this. That's right, guys. Moving right along. Only 16 more days till the big day of Halloween. That is nuts, yo. Uh, Today, for day 15, I checked out another Hammer horror. Another first time watch for me, and this one's one in their long caliber of Frankenstein movies. And it's kind of weird that I actually never seen this Frankenstein movie from Hammer before because it is titled Frankenstein Created Woman. Uh, yeah, this is a very interesting Frankenstein movie from the caliber of Hammer, I have to say, off the bat, with its plot in general, because pretty much we find out that Dr. Frankenstein, of course, played by the legendary Peter Cushing, uh, is still doing his experiments. We see he's in like this new town doing his experiments, and he has older gentleman helping him, and he also has a young helper named Hans. As we find out, Hans is in love with a girl named Christina. As we meet Christina early on in the film, uh, she ends up being kind of like partially disfigured on her face, and she has slight paralysis on her left side, pretty much. Uh, I, it's actually crazy. I need to rewatch this one because I think they explained what was wrong with her per se, but it was one of those things where it may have went over my head. But she has some sort of disorder with her. But they're in love. Hans loves Christina, and Christina loves him, and she's very self-aware of her features and her disabilities in that sense. Of course, Christina's father doesn't want Hans near his daughter at all. What ends up happening is these three like village rich folk come in and start a ruckus and start picking on poor Christina. So Hans fights them. Later on in that, Hans and Christina go off to make some love time, and of course, these three rich hooligans come back to this pub area. Well, I don't even know what the hell it's called. It's like a winery slash restaurant where you could buy alcohol too. But yeah, they pretty much beat the shit out of Christina's dad and kill him on the spot. Uh, Fast forward to the morning after. Hans goes to investigate, and he gets arrested for the crime because of certain circumstances, like his jacket was there. There's a scene that involves that. I'm not giving everything away for you. Plus, he was last seen threatening the owner, Christina's father. So he ends up being executed, and Christina actually witnesses this, and she ends up jumping off a bridge and drowning. Frankenstein has both their bodies, and he's actually kind of the one with this one. It's very interesting. It's very different than you would say like your typical Frankenstein movie. This one's involving like other souls, and say if you die, your soul doesn't leave your body right away. So what Frankenstein ends up doing through his new techniques is uh, sending Han's soul into Christina's body, giving it life again. And also in the meantime, he's also fixing like her ailments, like she can walk normal again, and her left side of her face is no longer disfigured. So we have new Christina, new hair color. She's like get a new groove going. Uh, what ends up happening pretty much for the majority of the rest of the movie is it turns into like this revenge tale. Ironically enough, this movie reminds me of a Wes Craven movie from the 80s uh, called Deadly Friend, where what ends up happening is Hans ends up taking over Christina's body and going on a revenge streak, killing, of course, these three hooligans that did them both wrong, pretty much. And yeah, that's pretty much the majority of the film. It's that, and I'm not going to give away what actually happens in the climax. But I dug this. I actually dug a lot of the Hammer movies. The thing is, with Peter Cushing's version of Frankenstein, he's kind of a fucking asshole in these movies. Throughout the series, as I figured out, he does show some restraint here with his performance, where he he's not as assholeless in this one. This is probably because right after the movie after that comes out after this one, there's a whole scene where he actually rapes a girl, and I think that's Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, the film that comes after this one. Uh, yeah, he's very indicative of his procedures and what he wants. You know, he's that type of character in these films. He is not a nice guy, and he's still not a nice guy in this film, especially during like the whole trial scene. You know, he's like, I have better things to do. I gotta do my experiments. You know, come on, fuck this dude. You know, but in that aspect, it's kind of interesting. In the least, you know, it's really the least graphic of the ones that I've seen of these Frankenstein movies, because they don't really actually show really any of the experiment shit of them actually working on Christina in the film. There's like this awesome scene where they unbandage her and she's fine again. You know, it would have been interesting to see some like progression of like what they were doing too, but I know how these are. It moves at a fast pace. The film is brilliantly directed by Terrence Fisher. Great score by James Bernard. Hammer, you know, it's Hammer. You know, it gets you in the groove. You know, yeah, nothing much more I can say about this. It's kind of a Deadly Friend ripped this movie off, but other than that, I dug it. I dug it for what it was. I'll be rewatching this one soon. Actually has a lot of good special features on this release from Scream Factory. Good shit. Frankenstein Created Woman. I do recommend it if you have never seen it before, like I did. Alright, guys, that's it for day 15. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow with another one for you guys. So, see you then. Peace.